For a long time, the traditional way founders tried to get their first customers followed a predictable pattern. And although it worked occasionally, it was slow, risky, and expensive. A founder would start with an idea, raise money, or hire developers, spend months building a full product in private, and only after that launch, publicly, and hope customers showed up. The assumption was that you need something polished before anyone would actually take you seriously. What usually happened instead was silence. Not because the founders were bad, but because they were building without a tight feedback loop. By the time customers reacted, the cost of changing direction was already high, and many teams found themselves stuck with a product that nobody actually truly wanted or needed. Most founders don't fail because their idea is bad. They fail because they disappear for months building in isolation. So the traditional model was build first, launch later, and hope customers show up. That model is slow, expensive, and dangerous, because by the time feedback arrives, you are emotionally attached to the product and financially stuck. In the AI era, that approach is outdated. You don't build first anymore. You prototype fast, talk to users immediately, and sell before you overbuild. Founders who get customers early are not better marketeers. They simply shorten the feedback loop. Speed to learning beats speed to building. And that is exactly what has changed. Today, because of AI tools, the speed at which you can prototype, validate, and sell an idea has increased so much that the old build first approach is no longer the smartest path. You no longer need to disappear for 6 months before talking to customers. You can involve them from day one, and that changes how you get your first paying users. The modern process is not build and hope. The modern process is prototype fast, test fast, sell early, and then build with confidence. And there is another shift happening at the same time that is just as important. We are now in what I would call the founder era. Keeping your idea secret and waiting until everything is perfect before showing it to the world is no longer an advantage. In fact, it usually slows down your process. Today, the founders who move fastest are the ones who build in public, document their journey, share what they're learning, and expose the product while it is still forming. That visibility attracts early users and builds authority around you as the person solving the problem. People don't just buy products anymore, they follow builders. They trust founders who share progress openly. Building in public is not marketing noise, it is a feedback engine. And with that context, here is the practical step-by-step system. The first step is not writing production code. The first step is creating a prototype that clearly communicates your core idea. Something that we started doing recently at Codelevate and have seen actually working consistently with our customers is building a realistic interactive prototype using tools like Figma Make, Cursor, or Lovable. These tools allow actually you to simulate a real platform experience instead of just showing static mockups. So you can share a unique URL, customers can click through the workflow, and they immediately understand how the product would fit into your day. The goal is not perfection. The goal is clarity. AI allows you to create this level of realism in hours instead of months. So this is your first speed advantage. AI compresses what used to take months into a single afternoon, and that removes most early stage risk. While the prototype is forming, you document the journey instead of hiding it. You share progress, talk about decisions, explain what you're learning, and show early versions even if they're rough. So when people watch a product evolve in public, they actually become invested. So they give feedback before you actually ask. They volunteer for demos, they follow your direction, and some of your first customers will actually come directly from the visibility that you do. So building in public is not a distraction from product work. It is part of the product process now. Once the prototype exists and people are aware of what you're building, you begin controlled exposure. You reach out directly to your target audience and schedule demo calls. These are not marketing campaigns. These are focused conversations where you walk someone through the experience and observe how they react. So during these demos, your job is not to convince people. Your job is actually to test assumptions. So you ask questions that force clarity. Example would be, would this replace your current workflow? Would you trust this in your daily use? What is missing that actually makes this incomplete? Or what would stop you from adopting it? So you repeat this process with at least 10 to 15 people so patterns emerge. The goal is not compliments. The goal is urgency. What you're trying to do is you want customers learning forward and asking how they can use it. That urgency is your real signal. Once you see a consistent interest, you offer early access instead of pretending the product already exists. When someone commits early, even in a small way, that transforms feedback into proof that the problem matters. At the same time, you refine the prototype aggressively. Remove features that don't support the core workflow. Most early products fail because founders protect complexity instead of protecting clarity. Your objective here is to reduce the product to the smallest version that still solves the problem completely. So after validation, you move into focusing building. Customers' expectations today are high. Even early products actually must feel stable enough to trust. But stability does not mean feature overload. It means strong foundations around one meaningful workflow. You build less, but you build it properly. So you can actually continue using AI to accelerate your development or partner with a technical team that helps you create a scalable architecture. The rule here is simple. Your first version should solve one workflow extremely well instead of solving many workflows poorly. Something that we share quite often is that complexity slows learning. Focus accelerates it. Once the product is live, you actually return to the same people who helped shape it in the beginning when you onboarded them personally. You observe how they use the system. You fix friction immediately. You treat early customers as collaborators, not just revenue. So automation comes later. Early success comes from proximity to customers. Getting your first customers in the AI era is not longer about building in isolation and hoping for traction. It is about visible building, fast feedback, and disciplined focused. The founders who move fastest today are not the ones who build the biggest product first. They are the ones who shorten the distance between idea and reality and involve customers early. So if you want a simple version of this process that we just discussed, you can copy directly and it looks something like this. Build a prototype fast, document the journey publicly, run structured demos, pre-sale early access, build only the core workflow, onboard customers manually. That sequence turns learning into the momentum. So if this video was helpful to you and you found something useful in it, feel free to share it with someone who is building right now and let us know in the comments what actually worked for you when you were trying to get your first customers. That's it for now. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next week.